Video starts in 5 minutes.
Here, I'm gonna record the, oh, no. So that way it's not recording you, record the camera.
Okay.
Oh, here it is.
No, thank you.
No, that's not it. Stop sharing. This is. Unless this one's not being detected. Let's see.
There.
Where'd it go?
There we go.
Okay. Okay. See if it's the right orientation. Oh no, it's not. Let's see if we can rotate it this way. There we go. All right, so I'm just gonna introduce the class. So we're gonna be doing a paint pouring class today. Here's a little example. If you are going to be doing this at home, for anybody watching this video, I actually recommend that you get a canvas that actually has the wooden boarding on the back, the bars, sorry, the boarding, because as you can see, this one got a little warped. So if you're going to just practice, these are great. But if you are doing it at home, make sure you get a full size canvas. Okay. You're also going to need a lot of plastic cups like this, something to stir with, like these popsicle sticks. You can use something like this to prop up your canvas underneath. So you can also use plastic cups that you might have laying around, or empty jars or empty cans that you might want to use to prop it so that the paint drips off the side. You're also going to need either, working?
I want to read a meeting or something.
Let's see. There we go. You're also going to need either a pre-mixed pouring acrylic. This comes mostly ready to go.
Hello.
Hello.
You didn't start yet, did you?
I'm just recording the introduction, but we haven't actually started the class yet.
This is Sonia, the artist, and this is
Jennifer.
Jennifer. That's the name I could forget. Alexa, my daughter Alexis, and she was going to join us today, if that's okay.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I'll just give her my canvas then.
Ooh.
That's fine. Now go ahead and pull up actually right here on the end, and then Lisa, you can sit on the side. Okay.
We'll work together.
Yeah.
I was at her house and she said, "Oh, come with me." And I
No,
was
that's
like,
fine. Maybe I'll use one of your canvases to just show you, but
Perfect.
it's fine.
"That's fine."
I do have more canvases. I just didn't bring them for this time. So I think
Right, because it's only one person. You
Very impromptu.
We have canvases at home.
okay. All right, let me just finish the materials intro and then we'll keep going, okay?
Thank you.
You can also use or buy this material, pouring medium. This you can mix with a regular acrylic paint. It says a 1-to-1 ratio will work, which is the equivalent of this. And napkins you're gonna need, probably an apron. It's good that you guys brought your aprons. I have my apron, but it's in the car, because this stuff it can get really messy. So have some napkins ready to go and then we'll get started, okay? All right, you guys can just kind of take a look at the example here. I'll put it on the screen just so you can see it. So you guys are gonna pick about 4 colors to use. And you could just see here that this one has a little bit of that golden color. I do have some like copper, gold, silver that you could use. And then this one is a little bit like metallic-y orange, so you can try that. This one's just kind of like basic colors. And then I also brought at the end, if you guys wanted to throw some on there, a little bit of this like artificial gold leaf. It's copper, silver, and gold in there, so it might be fun to just, I don't know, sprinkle on if you want. Okay, let me make sure we have enough supplies for everybody.
I think she got it.
Okay, that's yours.
They put down in the, you know. It's very hard. I'm sorry, if I'd known more than 10 minutes ago, I would.
Oh, no, that's fine. I just want to make sure we have all the stuff you need. So you have the same as everybody. Actually, you know what? I'll just pour it on top of one of these because honestly, I've done so many practice ones that it really doesn't matter, and I'll just show it on here, okay? All right, so let me just line this up so the video can record it.
Sonia never comes and says, I haven't done this before.
Like so many of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
At the library.
The cooking ones are so bad.
The cooking ones I've never taught or,
No, they come with recipes I've never used.
oh my God.
And I say, well, I didn't have the mini marshmallows, so I'm just gonna use big ones. And sometimes that matters.
No, all the classes I've been before, right? At least I would know what I'm doing. Okay, so, why don't you guys kind of decide what colors you want to use? There's a bunch of fun colors. So 4 colors. I recommend maybe using, white tends to look good just because it kind of adds that little bit of pop in there. You could kind of decide to go with like cool colors, like this one, like cool colors are going to be like blues, greens, purples. I don't think I actually have bright green, but if you want to mix 2 colors together, you can. So for example, if you want to make like a regular green, you could just mix this one, and actually you can mix a little bit of teal or a little bit of the blue and make like a green, right?
She's amazing that way.
So I didn't want to buy every single color, but you can kind of make some adjustments. Or like if you want a light pink, you can just do like this color pink and mix it with some white, right? And then we're going to be mixing the colors in the cups, okay? So I would say before you start, we're going to put a little bit of this satin varnish in, just a little squirt in a small cup, so we can record it. So I'm going to pass that around and literally just like this, just so you can see. It's just like, maybe like that much, okay?
Just in one of
In
the
all
cups,
the cups,
in all the,
yeah.
okay.
So by the time you're done, you have just your set, okay? And then depending on what color you
Just
want,
enough to cover the bottom.
yeah, that's a good way of looking at it, okay?
Let's
So I'm gonna try this fun orange just because it looks cool. This one's not open. I think the red, yellow, and orange are not open all the way. So pick what colors you want. And then to pour them in, I would say pour about like a quarter of a cup of paint. So you're pouring it in there, maybe like
Okay.
that much, okay? Okay, that's the orange. So go ahead and pick your 4 colors. If you want to just do 3 colors, that's fine, right? It doesn't have to be, I would say at least 3 colors. I'm gonna do this gold in it. What should I do? What should I do? I'll do red. Let me get this one open.
And Jennifer is a huge crafter. She knows everything.
I'm a horrible painter.
Well,
That's
you
why I'm
guys-
doing this.
In other words, you guys see each other a lot.
We do.
She's a
Is that a blue or a purple?
Yes.
Yes, both.
That's the color it is.
You two are a lot.
It's a royal purple. That's what that is. So close
Well,
to the blue.
it's called sapphire.
I'm gonna put some white in it.
I wanted more purple.
Yeah,
Well,
if you
then
want
you
more
should put
purple.
some pink in it.
Okay. Put some pink in it. It's
Mhm.
been a long time since I've had to think about these things. I was also out in Pete all day yesterday. My brain, yeah, not.
It's good for you.
Okay, I think I'm gonna add a little dot of blue just to see what happens.
You and I are thinking along the same lines here.
If you actually want to do this at home, they have little paint sets at Hobby Lobby. So for example, the small bottles of teal, blue, pink, and white came together, and it actually comes with this cup.
let me out, I'm stuck in your pocket.
So it's kind of cool because they come with these kind of harder cups that can be reused. So
Oh.
these little sets kind of come together. So
That's
if you
all.
guys do that, you can do that. You can find that. If you happen to have a lot of acrylic paint at home and you want to just use that, especially if it's like a cheap acrylic paint, you can definitely use this and make your own mixture of these bottles. Okay, it's like an advanced setup. Okay, once you have your colors, you're gonna use your popsicle sticks to mix them. So you can drop your popsicle sticks in the little cups. And then you're just gonna swish the paint into the little varnish that we added, okay? If you don't have that satin varnish, you can add like a couple drops of water, you can add a little bit of this pouring medium, but it's gonna help it just be a little bit more runny.
Before I met Sandra, I had no idea that you mixed colors a lot. You know what I mean? Like I just thought you pull it out of the little, whatever,
Oh, the tubes.
the tube, and you put it on the paint, or you put it on the canvas. But she makes amazing.
You know, we started with 3 colors a long time ago. The 3 primary colors a long time ago.
That's
Yeah.
true. That is true.
They did all start from there. We learned that in school a long time ago.
Yeah, Lisa.
Started, you're saying you started with primary colors?
A long time ago.
Well, the first colors were actually colors that were more like earthen colors. So things that you can find like rock in the ground.
Berry.
Like, well, those colors were used, but those wouldn't last as much as like iron and iron
Oh, yeah.
red.
Ochre, where
Yellow
did
ochre,
ochre come from?
right? The titanium white kind of came from, white rocks, basically all the earthy tones, siennas, browns.
Yeah, put a little pink in the one and some white.
Okay, so if you guys ever do this, or again, do it again, you wanna kind of get your paint and it should be runny like this. So you see, it's like, hang on, let me get a little bit. It should run, okay? Not like water, right? Because obviously that would be way too thin. But imagine you're dripping like, maybe cough syrup, something like that, like very syrupy. So it has to have a little bit of flow to it, okay? That's probably the hardest thing to get right the first time. That's why I think these pre-mixed pouring acrylics were made, because it's so hard to get them like just right. But if you ever have a problem with how something comes out, most likely it's because it was either too runny or too thick, and so it kind of maybe didn't flow as well as it could have. Okay. So I have these kind of funky colors. These are all colors I actually probably would never use regularly. So I actually did like a little bit of extra orange, and I could probably use some more pink. So I would just check right now and make sure you have a decent amount of everything. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put some yellow in this.
What does that do?
Better?
It's gonna make it a little bit more of an orange.
Oh,
The yellow in there. Okay,
Need a little bit more of the thinner, the stuff to thin it.
oh, the little,
These 2 were a little.
it's that white bottle
That's
right there. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or that bottle.
Oh, no, this is the one that's the pouring medium. So we don't
Oh.
need this because the paint's already
The paint
made.
already mixed.
Yeah. But like, I just wanted to show you guys because
Right.
you probably want to buy it and save yourself some money if you buy that. If you have like craft paints at home too, it'll work. They're a little bit thicker, but just maybe use that pouring medium. Okay. So how are we doing? Everybody's mixed and ready to go?
Yep.
Okay. So this is like the magic maker right here. This is a thread oil. It's called silicone oil. It's just silicone oil. If you see it at a craft store, they're gonna call it paint pouring cell creator, blah, blah, blah. It's just silicone, okay? So it's just a little drip bottle, and you're just gonna put carefully 1, 2, 3. Okay? Don't squirt it in there, okay? 3 little drops of this, okay? And then I have an extra pipette so that you can also pipette, okay? So we can pass that around. So that's gonna go 3 drops in each cup.
Is anybody brave enough to do that? I'm doing it this way.
Yeah, it might be easier to control with the pipette, but just as long as you're not I mean, you could squirt a ton in there and see what happens, but I wouldn't recommend
It
it.
would be a bad experiment.
So that silicone oil is basically just like, oh, it's not silicone oil, it's just silicone.
There.
It's basically what makes these little like bubbles show up in the
I'd
canvas.
be able to hit them.
Okay, if you do it without the silicone, it will make some bubbles just because when we mix it, we trap some air in there and it shows up, the little bubbles show up on the paint pour. But that's what really kind of makes the magic happen with this, okay? All right. So when you mix it with the color, just lightly mix it. You don't want to like swoosh it around crazy. It's okay if you do, but I'm just saying, like, you don't want to go super nuts on it. Okay, I'm gonna
You don't want it flying out of the cup all over the room.
But look at this table. And
You
then,
could even leave one color without any, silicone, just to see, and maybe that.
Too late.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, like, in the future, if you do this. So that way you can just see what happens. All of this is just like an experimentation to see kind of what results you get, okay? The first time I did a paint pour, it came out really bad like this, like, and I was like, what the heck happened? So it looks easy, but it's actually kind of takes some trial and error to really kind of get the hang of it, okay? All right, so now what I want you guys to do is actually get one of the bigger cups like this. So that way we can kind of see that it has the right amount. So these cups are a little bit thicker or bigger than these ones. So when we, we basically want to fill up these cups to go to this middle line, I would say. Yeah,
50 milliliters.
maybe a little bit above that top dot, okay? So I don't know, maybe that's 75. Basically, we just want to make enough paint to cover the canvas that you're using. So when I did this little one, I filled up a whole cup like this size, and that was enough paint to pour onto this and get a good result, okay? So for your canvas, which is 9 by 12, I would recommend at least, what is that, 75 milliliters to 100. If we have extra, that's fine. It's probably better to have more than not enough, okay? So this is how I want you to do this, okay? You are going to carefully, not over mixing it, you are going to pour a little bit of one color, okay? Pour a little bit of another color, and you are going to alternate, okay? So I don't like how this color came out. It came out like basically like the red, so. Okay, so just alternating, going back to the orange. Going back to the red. And don't move that cup on the bottom, okay? You know what, I'm gonna put some white in here because I'm already looking at it and mine looks like a brown muck. The cup real quick. Or maybe I'll just mix. Do a little. See what happens. Okay, and again, I'm not worried about what's happening in this cup. I'm just pouring, alternating the colors, okay? Over in there, just.
Oh, shoot.
Did you get some on? That's okay. Don't worry.
It's not fair. Jennifer started first.
Yeah,
Not
Don't
fair.
worry.
Lisa got it on her arm.
Don't worry, you're all gonna turn.
you're still pretty.
Okay, mine's gonna look so weird. Mine's gonna look like some acid or something.
It's okay. You're not getting a grade in school, so you're not worried.
Okay, I am a little bit short, so I'm gonna add some more, so. Yeah, you kind of have to like, scrape out the rest in there. Depending on what color it has in it, some colors might be heavier or lighter. So for example, the white is generally a heavier material. So it's gonna sink to the bottom more likely than not.
But after you pour it on there, you'll never know. This is doable this way at home.
So I'm gonna stop here just because I have less, okay? So I would say at least get your cup to that first dot. I think that'll be plenty. So now that I'm like actually pouring them in this cup, it's looking like it's a lot more because that cup is pretty wide compared to the other little one.
Not to go, please.
Here's some avocado that you guys need.
Oops.
Honey, you got it all over again.
Are you good? Do you need
Good.
anything?
Okay.
I believe I'm.
Are we good? Okay, you have like a pretty much to the dot.
Yep.
And you're good over here. You're pretty much to
Yep,
the dot.
pretty much the
And
dot.
you're on.
Yep.
Okay. If you have one color left over, that's like a lot, just pour it all in. It's not a big deal.
Better too much or too little.
True.
So if you are gonna do this at home, I would recommend getting those like discount box of like small canvases that are like, a set, just so you can try out different things at different colors. And then, I like to even like, after I'm done making one of these, paint something on top of it. So it's a cool background too. And then, you can throw some like gold flaking on it, or there was one that I did where I kind of like splattered on it. So you don't have to stop yourself with just the one technique, right? The pouring, unless you really like that and you want to keep it, right? Also, if you have a really bad pour at home and it just really sucks, or you don't like how it came out, you can always just pour over them, as long as you're not using super transparent colors. Like this one probably will get some coverage, but I mean, if I get some of this blue showing through, it's not going to be the end of the world either. Okay. All right. So go ahead and just take these cups and kind of put them aside so they're not going to be in the way. And then we want to set up I should have brought more canvases for you guys. It would be cool to do this twice. Next time we'll do it twice. Okay. So once you get those out of the way, then you want to set up your little whatever these are, the little stands. And this is just going to support the bottom of your canvas. So we want to make sure we have them set up so when we pour on it, we can easily kind of move it around and then set it on there to dry when it's done. Okay. It is kind of a quick process, but if you had a bunch of canvases, you could like do one and then the other and the other, and then just kind of go from there. So it's a really fun activity. All right. So. We're good? Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your cup, and there's different approaches that people have to how to get the paint on the canvas, okay? The easiest one is just gonna be the flip cup technique, okay? So you're gonna take your cup, you're gonna place your canvas on top of it like this, in the middle, okay? And then you're just gonna flip it, okay? And like that, okay? See how it's just kind of held? Some of it might be coming out the bottom. And then when you release it, you just kind of want to like give it a little bit of like a swish around, okay? So maybe something like that. Okay, you can get in here and put the rest of it on here. And then this is where you are, you know, moving the pouring around, okay? My canvas is a little warped, so it's kind of dipping down. So we'll just see what happens. So we want to start with one direction, right? And then kind of let it slide to each corner, okay? So, you know, you can just watch me do this first because it's going to be tricky. But as you slide it around, the paint and the designs in the paint are going to stretch out.
Right. It's a little-
Okay.
It does look like lava.
Mhm.
I'm not going all the way to the corner quite yet because I just want to see how much coverage I can get in the middle. Okay. If you have too little paint, this is going to be very hard to do because it's not going to be enough to cover the whole thing. So we kind of want to have more than enough. Okay. So I have most of it kind of on the surface here. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to go off the edges and let it fall. Okay. So if you watch, it's going to pour. Don't let it keep going because then you're going to lose the whole thing, right? So then now I'm going to come around. You can help it out a little too. So I kind of like to let it, like if it's not going the right way, I'm like, okay, come over here. So that's going to pour off. Okay. See, I just kind of finished that little end part. Bringing it back. So this just takes some practice, but just try it. See what happens. You know what? I am gonna actually, before you guys start this, I'm gonna suggest that you pour a little bit more paint in there just to be sure. Because I did almost to the dot and it's like not quite enough for the smaller canvas. So I would actually pour a little bit more paint in from one of them. You can just pour it straight from one of the bottles. All right. So there.
Good idea, Jen.
I poured it off all, okay. Now what I can do while it's all covered on the edges is I can see, okay, I kind of like this little blue thing that's happening. I'm going to bring it back down and let it slide kind of where I want the final design to be, okay? Mine doesn't have that much contrast. It doesn't have that many colors that are popping just because they're all so similar.
I think it's all made.
But whatever, I like it. It looks like lava. So I feel like mine kind of works out right here. I'm gonna just keep sliding it and just see if I can get this little blue to come down a little and stretch out maybe. So I think I like how that is. And there's no really like, there's no way to like predict what you're gonna get in here.
Mate.
Hello?
Sorry, teacher, I have a question.
Oh, I didn't even know somebody.
Чё, блядь? По-русски, хуй ты мамин, блядь, по-русски говори, блядь.
Нарисуй профессионально.